Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it seems like a lot. Got a couple in there.
Yeah. For this class. Yeah, they're trying this thing out. They tried out a couple times already.
But I was over Zoom. Okay. Yeah. Is it just like a more like interactive where students are actually doing more of the work?
So yeah, the idea is that I don't know, they teach each other basically, like we do as little teaching as possible.
Yeah. Cool.
All their assignments are pass or fail.
That part I like a lot.
So yeah, you get a grade based on like how many things they pass.
Yeah, cool. Huh. You know who does a cool job is the computer science department.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do this thing where like yeah, I'm like taking the class just from the website.
Okay.
And it's just so yeah, it's really good. Like, lecture's still an important part of the day.
Okay.
But I think it has less to do with like their pedagogy is not so unique. It's more than like I'd love to hear. I didn't get to yet. So like Well, anyway, so what's the active learning like in the class you're doing?
So, they get, like for, lecture and discussion are roughly the same thing.
Okay.
So it's they meet 5 times a day, like every single day. That was nice. And so beforehand, they have to do their pre-work. And they come in, they like check each other's pre-work basically.
Yeah.
And they just have problems to discuss
Yeah.
for the rest of class.
Problems that they brought or problems that the teacher?
Problems that the teacher gave them.
Okay. Wait, you said they meet
gives
5
us to
times
give
a
them.
day?
What's up?
You said they meet 5 times a day?
5 times a week.
A week, okay, gotcha. So every time they meet, they come and they already have some pre-work.
They already have some pre-work. They do some group work in like groups of 3.
When they first get there?
Yeah, they check the pre-work, then start doing their group work.
Yeah, gotcha.
And that goes for almost the whole class.
Yeah.
With us just like, walking around or
Oh, I see you're saying lecture and discussion
pointing something
are
out
the
if we
same
know
format.
it. But like we'll be like, oh, it looks like there's like an added restriction that you're putting on something here. Could you
Yeah.
maybe try to figure out what that might be?
That's cool, gotcha.
Or yeah, someone asked something about some information. We're like, do you think that was? Do you remember that from the pre-work that you did? Like, can you find that definition there?
Yeah, yeah. Is the pre-work problems or is the pre-work like reviewing notes?
Pre-work is like some notes with a little bit of gaps,
Yeah, gotcha.
but all the information is there.
Yeah, yeah, gotcha.
Um,
That's different from what I've seen, but that's cool. Typically I've seen the pre-work being like a problem set.
right.
Yeah, but it's fine, it's different. So it's more like a note with some gaps, and they have to like, so they're basically like reviewing the sort of material ahead of time, but the review has these gaps and they have to really like engage, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they group work for most of the discussion.
Yeah. The group work is like, and it adds some things to group work.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
You review these concepts and now it tries to build a little more.
Yeah, okay. And then at the end of the,
oh, what was that? Sorry.
oh, well, then what happens at the very last part you said?
Yeah, at the end of it, we do a gallery walk, it's called. So we just throughout the class, we like pick out some solutions that nicely illustrate some concept
Yeah.
that we thought was good
Oh,
to
that's
pick up on, and we just walk around and explain it. We don't like write anything out or
Sure.
post anything.
And then it's like the lecture portion, basically just like, do they just like review the chapter of the book or something? Like, where's the portion, or is there a portion where they basically like get information and like see sort of, sometimes I think it can be valuable to see an expert do something. And is there any portion of the class that sort of has that element?
I think the point is not to do that, basically,
Yeah,
as much
yeah.
as possible.
Huh.
I think they do like a little bit more of like they talk a little bit more in lecture,
Yeah,
than
yeah.
do in discussion, but minimal.
Yeah, so I think that's a mistake. I don't think that they should all be lecture, but I think that, and maybe I'm openly wrong on this, but I think there's something that happens like when you do see an expert explain a small portion. I think within the right proportions, you want some of that
I'm
expert
tempted to
demonstration.
agree.
What's that?
I'm tempted to agree,
Yeah,
based on how I've learned in the past, at least.
yeah, definitely that. Like if you think about your own stuff, that, and I think we can both agree that that's like, we want to be a little careful with that because we've of course just learned in the current system. So like,
Yeah.
but I think even beyond that, I'm just thinking about like when I've solved problems before. Like it's great for me to like just like beat my head on a problem for like an hour. But at some point, it can be really advantageous to like see the solution if I don't figure it out. So there's this great problem where you have a sphere, and maybe you've heard this already, but you have a sphere and you get to put place 4 points randomly on the sphere,
Okay.
which I think creates like a tetrahedron or something.
Okay.
And then the question is, what's the probability of the center of the sphere? Like maybe it's a ball, which is, it doesn't matter. But the center of the sphere, the ball, is inside of the tetrahedron. That's a really fun, cool problem. But at this point, I've been like thinking about it for like 5 years. And I think I might have a lot to gain from like seeing a solution, you know?
Uh-huh.
And like, I would learn a lot by seeing that solution, and then in the future, I'd be able to kind of I'd get a lot out of. I'd maybe apply that method in those situations.
Yeah.
So I think like that's
true.
My thought there, like there's a lot of value to like getting that group work. I think it should be mixed with. I think you say about two. I think it should be mixed with some expert demonstration / lecture or whatever.
Yeah.
Why? So, and you said that your intuition was also that it should be that way. You said just from like the way you learned or something.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. Yeah, I'm pretty good at taking what someone does and using it in another context. I feel like I don't see something and can only limit it to the one place I saw it.
Right.
So it usually works pretty well for me to just see something. I'm like, oh, cool. That's a technique.
Okay, yeah, but like, I think you have to take the perspective that like, possibly not everybody learns the same way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you could almost argue that like, the people who are in the system right now, who are professors and whatnot, are probably the people who the current structure works really well for.
Yeah.
So to just like survey those people is going to be like a bias.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely times too that I've, gotten lazy and you just kind of just sit and lecture and see someone perform and you're like, cool.
Yeah, I definitely understand.
And then you can't do that. You're like,
yeah, totally.
That didn't really work for me. Alright. I'm warm.
Yeah, you guys want to drill a little bit more or play? Or?
Okay, I need more.
Yeah. Good.
That's okay. Can play one man for receive.
Pretty good drill, actually.
If I play with Nick, I'm just going to stand at the net. I'm receiving, sure. He's got it all.
That's the best you got, Mason?
Yep.
Right now.
I should have served it there.
You should have, yeah.
There you go.
Oh, nice line serve.
It was all sideways.